something that is of grave concern in our society.
It's a season and a reason for everything.
I'm going above and beyond, so I'm not gonna go above and beyond.
That's what we're talking about now.
No.
You know right from wrong. You know how you felt. You caused that on someone. Our PA person, PR person, I'm sorry. Miss, you want me to give you your whole name?
Petrina's fine.
Okay. Miss Petrina, she's special. She don't want her whole name mentioned.
Thank you.
You all might be calling her.
Petrina Management Company.
Yes. But anyway, she's gonna sit in for Sherilyn today with us. We've been asking her to come out for a while, so I guess she came out today.
Yes, just for you ladies.
Okay, but now I understand, and it's good to see you out here, Petrina, but I just got to get back to, real quick, about my president, okay? Now, you know, every president that has ever taken office, I don't think there's one that went into such a mess as this particular president. Has he done everything right? Who's to say? He's been dealing with a lot of things.
Have they all done everything
Exactly, right? Exactly. You know, and I still say it's just barely 2 years. I don't care what anybody says. I think we need to give him a chance. I think we should rally behind him. And I mean, just stop and think. If his mind is so caught up in all of the junk, how can he really focus on things? You know what I mean? You're so busy putting out fires.
But I'm sorry.
You're so busy putting out fires.
A people pleaser. He, as the old folks say, tell the truth and shame the devil.
Okay, you're saying he should just come on out and say, look, let me tell y'all one freaking thing.
I'm not saying he have to do it like that, but he don't have to apologize every time somebody, Palin says this. Oh, then he comes on the news. Well, I'm sorry for this. You weren't about offending the wrong people. Do what you gotta do to get us going the right route.
Okay, so my question to you, Josette, is, at this point, what can he do? Okay, they've already painted this.
Well, everything he do is gonna be wrong.
That's what I'm saying. They've already painted this picture of him.
Stick to the facts.
Petrina, what can he do? They painted a picture of him of being whatever. They've already concluded, Republicans, he's going to be a one-term president. They're going to make sure their whole focus is to get him out.
But that's what they want you all to think. They want you all to get caught up in jargon, junk.
Hey,
they
call
want
in.
you to
Call
get
in.
caught
If you
up
have
in
any
that.
ideas about this, call in.
So that when you get caught up in it and it's time to vote, what would you, if you got junk in and you're not letting it go out, what you gonna believe? They want you to get confused.
I think that we need to hear what the people out there, the voters, want to have to say, and I think we first need to address the low voting numbers. That, I mean, we made history with the voting, but in a negative way. I think, what, like 3.4% of people, I mean, not even 10% of African Americans even went out to vote to begin with.
And then I go back to Roland Martin with that. Like he said, shut up. It's just one word, shut up. You didn't vote, shut up.
Well, I mean, that's true. Okay, shut up is fine. But you're right, Petrina. What's the problem? You know what I mean? We've got to get beyond this thing. You know, when I think of all the struggle and the people who died, gave their lives, the struggle that people went through, and now you have that opportunity to voice your opinion.
But you're talking about people who have seen that struggle. One thing that with the presidential race that I didn't see was that my generation was not targeted. Remember when we had rappers coming out, we had actresses and people that we see that are kind of role models from our generation, encouraging us to go vote. We didn't see this for the, House of Representatives and the Senate race. So, I mean, there's a disconnect there.
I think, and you said, and y'all, I know I'm getting ready to get beat up.
Well, let her finish her point, please. Finish her point.
There are a lot of demographics that need to be brought to light when you want a good turnout. Not only African Americans, but we have to think about people, students. You know, we have a lot of unemployed now. We have to target them. This is a whole different, we have to think about the, you know, people that are for or against same sex. I mean, there are a lot of different demographics that need to come in mind. If you want the same type of turnout that you did for the presidential race, then we need to target all of these people. Now, he went on a campaign years before. I personally can't recall hearing commercials until, you know, maybe a month before the elections. I mean, you know, in marketing, you have to repeat something so many times that people remember it. You know, think about all the things you do on a daily. You have to drive, go to work, get groceries. I mean, so many thoughts that could bombard us on a daily basis. So I just think, I mean, a lot of people drop the ball on the, you know, advertising side, getting the people out there. But
my thing is, why do we have to advertise when, first of all, like I was saying, with your generation, some of your generation, everything has to be you got to see it instead of really seeing what's going on out here before you see how serious something is.
Right.
And it's like we have to tailor.
We are beyond the microwave generation. It's like if I want to say something, all I have to do is type in 140 characters in my phone.
Correct.
Knows about it.
And that's the thing.
We're not a marching generation. We're not about to go march, you know, for 6 months to see a change. That's not.
But no, I'm not saying that.
I'm
not saying that you all need to march or whatever. Your generation, because I've been around your generation, they talk, but if it's not up in their face every day, then they're not like at the polls.
I agree.
Right.
And I agree.
And it shouldn't be like that. It should not.
But I'm only one demographic of people that could have went out to vote that didn't. Obviously, there's another 7% of African Americans in general just didn't go out to vote. I am a 24-year-old African American. What about the 40-year-olds and the 30-year-olds who are unemployed in the military? Why didn't they go out and vote? We don't know. They have to call in and let us know. I'm not in that demographic, but I was just saying honestly, you know, we need things bombarded in our face all the time because that's the only way you're gonna get our attention.
That's interesting, though. You're absolutely right. Do we have a caller?
You are absolutely right. We do have a caller. Thank you for calling Real Women, Real Issues. What's your question or comment?
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm calling back. I'm one of y'all favorite watchers, viewers. One of the things I wanted to discuss was I wanted to bring about another point. It seems like everybody is kind of sleepwalking, and that's why they're going to be crying the blues. And that's why our schools can never get the money in our community centers for our elderly, community centers for youth, because they don't pay attention to the process of voting. I think a lot of people that came in for the first time and voted for President Obama in 2008, they don't understand the political process. A lot of your older African Americans, Americans in general understand, because you look, and I tell you, they had the biggest thing of let's get out and do the census, right? Everybody got to do the census, be counted. Okay, now once we were counted and look at the huge number of African Americans for the first time within a census, was being counted in a census. Now their vote they may have been accounted, but they may be pushed into a district where their vote is diluted because the lines are being redrawn, and they're being redrawn every 10 years. And so the one thing I think everybody felt slept on was now you have Republicans in charge, that they would redraw the district lines, they allocate where the money go at. So when you ask why youth, African-American youth, are committing all these crimes, don't have anything to do, because they don't pay attention to the political process. If you pay attention to the political process, greater numbers will came out of vote all across America because the money goes back into the districts where the lines are drawn. And you're not going to have a lot of community centers, you're not going to have a lot of money for centers for the elderly, you're not going to have a lot of programs, you're not going to have a lot of school improvements, you're not going to have a lot of computer libraries. So these are the things when you look at the political process and voting, why it's so important to vote. I mean, it baffles me Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Well, you can look around your communities and count how many libraries you have. You can count how many community centers you have. You can count how many elderly homes or centers you have in your community. You know, all of that's slowly dwindling away.
But Petrina, I do need to ask you, and this is a little off the...
This is the last question because we got to get away from this.
Well, I know. Well, this is a little off the topic, actually, of what we've been discussing. No, I'm saying overall. You know, recently a young man was murdered. It seems that there was a dispute between a female and a young man. And the young man decided to be chivalrous, and he said instead of hitting the young lady, he was going to hit the very next male that walked past him. And as it turns out now, 4 young men have been arrested. They killed him. They beat him to death. Now, you know, I'm like, again, this is a generational thing, because I don't know of anybody in my generation
Would do such a thing.
that would do such a thing. What is, enlighten me about this generation.
Sure, I will. I have read that story, and I call the generation after me because when I started college, another group just started college, just started high school. So I wouldn't consider them my group.
They're
the people I graduated with are in their careers. We're about to have, you know, our 5-year college reunions. We're not in the high school age. That incident happened.
I think these were 18 and 19-year-olds.
Yeah, one was a high school graduate in 2010.
Right.
So I call them another name that I've made up, but it's you know, copyrighted name. I won't say that, but they. I think they're even worse than us. At least my generation knew we had to go to college. There was absolutely no way. We knew the importance of education. This generation is influenced by such people as Soulja Boy. They've even been more influenced by reality TV.
Instant gratification.
Very instant. If I am angry, I will express it right. They're very reactive, and I'll call them the reactive generation. I don't think they're. I would say that we are not as proactive. You know, mid to late 20s, early 30s, we're not as proactive as the generations before us, but we're definitely not reactive. We understand their consequences to our actions. This generation, the current 18, kind of 12 to 18-year-olds are very reactive.
So they don't, in other words, they don't even take the time to think, I could go to prison.
No.
I could get death penalty. I mean, that just never enters, you know.
Now,
let's just do it.
Let's flip the script. You could be at a restaurant. Someone can be calling you out your name, like 30 years out your name. And then you retaliate, and then you get beat down, and you go to court, and you're just blatantly saying, I'm not guilty, and you get slapped 6 months on the wrist for your deed. You know, and I could see, and I know that these boys got to be penalized, and they're going to be penalized.
What's sad was that both their futures were so bright on both ends.
But I'm talking about in the court systems now.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
In the court systems, the justices, you know, so, and I can't stay on that topic, but I just want to say, you know, justice, is it just us justice, or?
Yeah, I think that's another show. There's a just us justice.
So